Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley here for Pinkfresh Studio. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am showing you a brand new card project featuring some of the new washi release from Pinkfresh Studio. I'm going to be using this gorgeous Joyful Bouquet washi, and I'm going to be showing it to you on vellum. And I promise you, when you see this washi on vellum, you're never going to want to go back to cardstock. I mean, look at the colors on this, and I love the gold foil. Now, in addition to the washi tape, there is also a coordinating stamp set available and a one-piece die that will cut all of these images out at once, and I'm going to show that to you today. I'm going to start by mounting my strip of washi onto some Essentials by Ellen Vellum. This is a heavyweight vellum. It is my vellum of choice. And usually I start at one end of the washi, the cut end of the washi, kind of smooth it down and roll it out. But honestly, today I was having issues with this. And you're going to see how forgiving this is, because I'm going to put it down and I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to put it down again and I'm going to pull it up again. I just kept working with it until I got it right. But in the end, what I ended up doing was rolling out the portion that I needed. So this has a portion with some smaller floral groupings and then one large bouquet. So I kind of rolled out that section. And this pattern, by the way, repeats itself several times on the washi. Now this washi is 4 inches wide and 10 meters long, so about 30 feet long, and this pattern is going to repeat itself several times over that 30 feet of length. And as I mentioned, normally I would roll this out and just smooth it all down at the same time, but I was having issues with it today. So I just cut off the portion that I needed. I ended up taking this portion and kind of adhering down the long edge of this along the edge of this vellum that I have cut, and then kind of smoothing it out from there. I don't know why I was having issues with it, but you know how there's some days that you just have issues? This was one of those days. Now, once I finally got that right, it's time to die cut this. And I'm taking the one-piece die, so this is all connected. I don't have to line up several little dies. And I'm holding it in place with some purple tape, and I'm making sure that my purple tape touches not only the die, but also the edge of the vellum that's exposed as well, because this purple tape does not want to adhere to the washi. That washi has that kind of slick, waxy surface, which makes it washi. And so the purple tape doesn't like it very much. And once I have that adhered in place, I'm going to run that through my Gemini Junior to die cut it out. And I have these gorgeous watercolored floral washi images. Now, the cool thing about adhering this washi to vellum and then die cutting it is that the washi maintains its translucency. So part of the magic of washi and vellum in general, which is probably why I like both of them, is that they have this beautiful, soft, very ethereal translucency to them. And you can see that here as I hold up this die cut bouquet. It has just a beautiful softness to it that cannot be mimicked by anything else. So I thought I would compare this to adhering this to some white cardstock, so you can really see a side-by-side difference in adhering this washi to cardstock and adhering it to vellum, because I think I'm going to sell you on the vellum today. I'm going to sell you on placing your washi on the vellum today. So I went ahead and just rolled out a piece again of this washi onto some Nina Solar White heavyweight cardstock, ran it through my die cut machine with that one piece die, and I'm going to sort these out into cardstock pieces and vellum pieces. And I am going to do a little side by side here, mostly with this big image here. So this is the one on the left-hand side on the cardstock. You can see the colors are much more vibrant because they have something kind of backing them. And on my right-hand side, I'm holding the one that was adhered to the washi. And you can definitely see that this one's a little bit softer. It has a translucency to it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So now that we have a proper comparison, I am going to grab one of these lunch bags that I got from Target. I don't have lunch bags in my house. But I wanted to create a floral wrap using this gorgeous bouquet. I was actually inspired by my friend Carly T. She did a floral wrap card a while back, and I thought this bouquet is perfect for something like that. So I kind of experimented with some natural or craft colored cardstock. It was not bending the way I needed it to. It wasn't behaving for me. So I just picked up some of these lunch bags and I cut it down into a 4 by 4 inch square. Now, before I put my flowers inside of this little bouquet wrap that I'm creating, I'm going to just take some scissors and trim off the stems that are kind of along the bottom because I want to put those coming out the bottom of the wrap. Now, once I have those trimmed off, I'm going to lay this onto the square. The square, I have placed it onto my work surface kind of in a diamond type orientation. And I'm taking these outer corners and folding them in. And you're going to see how easy this paper lunch bag is to fold around my florals. I'm kind of just feeling this out and seeing where it wants to fold. And once I get a good idea, I'm going to take out the flowers and really press these folds in and crease them in using my fingernail. And in order to not cover up all the flowers, I'm going to take these little corners and bend them down. It almost feels like I'm making a paper airplane here, but I'm not. Trust me. And then so my stems can hang out the bottom. I'm going to trim off the bottom to make that opening a little bit wider. And then I have my floral wrap. To adhere my bouquet inside of this wrap that I've created, I'm actually going to be using just a few foam squares. These are white foam squares. Now this is translucent, but because of all of the color and the foiling that's on the florals, and because there's kind of this double layer created with the washi and the vellum together, you cannot see these foam squares once I place this into this craft or floral wrap that I've created. So don't worry about that. You could use some liquid glue, but I wanted a little dimension here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue, open up my wrap, and place it right along the bottom and place the ends of these stems right into that opening. So it looks like the stems of my flowers are actually longer than they are. So this actually creates an elongated die cut here because I've covered up that center portion and put those stems on the outside of that wrap. Now I've taken the Pinkfresh Studio Curvy Leaves die set and I've die cut several of these from Vellum. These are great for layering, and Vellum, adding another Vellum layer is going to make this feel really full, but it's not going to create a really busy feel because they're going to kind of fade into the background. It's going to add some texture, but it's not going to make it feel overwhelming. Now there was this little area where you could kind of see the paper bag because the florals wouldn't sit quite far enough down into my wrap. I just took another one of those floral clusters that's die cut with all of this one piece washi and die set, and I just adhered that into that opening, and that created the fill that I needed. And I'm just tucking these little Vellum curvy leaves into the wrap with a little bit of liquid glue to hold them in place. Now, once I get this kind of filled in the way that I want it, I am going to grab some natural twine and I'm going to tie it around this floral bouquet wrap that I've created. And this is just a fun little accent. It really makes it feel like it's a real floral wrap, even though it's paper that you picked up maybe at the farmer's market or something. And I'm going to leave the tails on my twine kind of long because I like that look. Now I've taken the diagonal stitched rectangle die from Pinkfresh Studio and I've die cut some Nina Solar White heavyweight cardstock, and I'm going to use the diamond plaid stencil to add a little bit of texture onto this white cardstock. Now I'm just grabbing the purple tape that I've been using all of this crafting session and just adhering my paper onto the back of my stencil here. This really wasn't enough tape because you can see my paper moved around here. That's fine. I just wanted a little bit of color and texture. I wasn't going for perfection here, so I just relined it up. And then I kind of just held it in place as I added some Ocean Breeze ink from Pinkfresh Studio using a blender brush. Now, this blue, I don't know if it was the right choice or not, to be honest, but it's the choice I made in that moment, and so we're going with it. It kind of gave me a little bit of struggle with the card base. I didn't know what color I really wanted to use because the blue was kind of throwing me off. And if you know me very well at all, I'm not much of a blue girl. I don't use blue a lot. I use mint, but not a lot of blue. And so I think I was struggling with that, to be honest. Now, once I had that done, I went ahead and adhered my floral bouquet wrap onto that rectangle that I've die cut and stenciled on. And then I'm going to work on my greeting. Now, this greeting is from the Anemone Magic stamp set. And it says, "You are such a beautiful soul that people crave your vibes." Well, I wanted to stamp it onto the mini fillable tags die cut here, but this sentiment was too long. So I just masked off the part that says that people crave your vibes. And I stamped the part that just says, "You are such a beautiful soul." And I used the Pinkfresh Detail Black ink for that. Then I'm going to tuck this in using a couple of foam squares right under my bow. And that's my sentiment for the card. Now, as I mentioned, I kind of went round and round on my card base and what size it should be and what color it should be. And I settled on a 5x7 card and this Oyster Gray cardstock from the Essentials by Ellen Line. So I've cut this to 7 inches by 10 inches and I'm scoring it at 5 inches to create my 5x7 card base. And you can see I'm going over that score line several times. And then I'm going to add this card panel or card front panel onto the card base using some fun foam to add some dimension, and I added some liquid glue to the back of it. Now, I am not used to lining up things on a 5x7 card base. So I grabbed my T-square ruler because the proportions of that die cut rectangle aren't really proper for a 5x7 card base, but it worked out because my bouquet is coming out over the top of that rectangle and it kind of all worked out. Now I finished off my card by adding some clear crystals just here and there, and I added those on using some glossy accents, and that completes my card for today, featuring the gorgeous Joyful Bouquet washi and coordinating one-piece die set and a little bit of vellum in there to maintain the beautiful translucency of this vellum. And like I mentioned before, I think once you try this washi tape on vellum, you may never go back to placing it on cardstock again. It is just such a gorgeous look. And I don't know if you can tell here, but I did add a couple more of those little floral clusters that are die cut with the washi and the one-piece die kind of behind the wrap. And those extra little touches like that with those varying layers of florals and the vellum leaves really finish this card and this bouquet off. As always, I will have links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube, so if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to turn on the notifications and subscribe here to this YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the fabulous paper crafting and card making video tutorials. As always, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.